The 1982 Bahamas Grand Prix takes place on the 4th and 5th of December in Nassau on New Providence Island, which is the capital of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Over a two-day period, the world's best circuit powerboat drivers from both America and Europe will compete for the Transatlantic Champion of Champions race, as well as the final round of the American NPA Formula One Series. The Ambassador Beach Hotel is the race headquarters for the 1982 Bahamas Grand Prix. The drivers have flown in from all over the world, but for the boats it's a different matter. Indeed, the boats from Europe were loaded in Southampton. Some 1 month ago they journeyed down to Miami in Florida. From there they were reloaded onto this barge, which took some 24 hours being towed behind this tug to arrive in the harbour here at Nassau. As you can see, the chop there on the water, even in the harbour, may well present some problems for these very fast boats, which average something like 110 miles an hour. Circuit powerboat racing can best be described as Formula One racing, but on water. In circuit powerboat racing, however, there are no brakes and one must drive the boats over an ever-changing water pattern. The boats race on a short 1 1/4 mile or 2 mile circuit, either sprint or marathon events. There are several classes of boats that make up the outboard crafts in circuit racing. The classes are determined by engine capacity, hull dimension and type of boats, that is catamaran or V-hull. The main event, which is the Transatlantic Champion of Champions, is for the ON class. The ON class itself denotes an engine size of 120 cubic inches or a maximum of 2 litres. These boats are the international class of champ boats, and the American drivers will be able to race against their European colleagues in the Transatlantic Champion of Champions race during the Bacardi Rum Bahamas Grand Prix. The winner of this race will surely be one of the finest drivers in the world today. The second main race in this Grand Prix meeting is the American NPA Formula One race. This is for what the Americans call champ boat racing. The champ boats, the Formula One class, are single-seater plywood catamarans weighing about 300 pounds and are 18 foot long. They are powered by either a 120 cubic inch Mercury or Mariner outboard, as in the ON class, or a 150 cubic inch Johnson or Evinrude outboard, putting out about 300 horsepower. They are fueled by aviation gas or the highest octane available, and are capable of reaching speeds in excess of 130 miles an hour. These crafts accelerate from 0 to 100 miles an hour in 4 seconds and can corner through a 180-degree turn at speeds of over 100 miles an hour. The art of driving is to race flat to the water on a cushion of air with as much of the boat out of the water as possible. This is called prop riding, since only the propeller is left in the water and the boat is actually flying. Supporting the ON and Champ boat races are modified VP racing, Formula 2 and Sport E racing. We will take a short look at the Formula 2 race and the modified VP with some very spectacular scenes indeed. One of the favourites for the Transatlantic Champion of Champions race must be Ken Stevenson with his Seabold designed hull. Indeed, Billy Seabold also another favourite for this race. The race itself will be held over 3 heats, each over a 20-lap distance of a 1 1/4 mile circuit. Points are awarded from 1st to 20th with 400 points for the winner. The driver then who has amassed the most points from the 4 heats will be deemed the Transatlantic Champion. Here in Nassau, we asked the Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Perry Christie, what he thought of this Bahamas Grand Prix.
Well, I'm very excited about it. I came into the Ministry of Tourism in June of this year, and one of the very firm views I brought with me was to establish the Bahamas as a sporting destination. That has tremendous touristic implications. Now, I think the background is that we have about 1.8 to 1.9 million tourists per year that come to the Bahamas. Some 2/3 of the people of this country either directly or indirectly earn their living from tourism. And so anything we can do to add to that number, and I believe this kind of event adds to that number. People who come in for coverage, promote the Bahamas abroad, the racers who come in, who race all over the world, they talk about the Bahamas. People who come to watch the races, they come in and they see the beauty of the Bahamas, and in fact, they come back. The second significant point is that we're having the races in a very beautiful part of the Bahamas. And lest you think we're talking about one country, one island, the Bahamas sort of begins some 50 miles off the coast of Florida and ends some 50 miles off the coast of Cuba. So this could be duplicated in any one of 700 islands, so to speak, but any one of most certainly 20 main islands, this particular event. We're having it here in the capital. It's centered in a historic spot because to the south we see old forts, in fact, which protected this island from marauders in the past, pirates. We have the British Colonial Hotel, one of the oldest hotels in the Commonwealth. Its architecture, its charm, and we have a very beautiful shoreline here. So all in all, we're hoping that this is one in a number of events that we have here in the Bahamas that result in people coming here to participate and compete against each other and other people coming in to watch them. That will add to, really and truly, the way of life of the Bahamian.
To declare this first annual...
And so the 1982 Bacardi Bahamas Grand Prix is declared open by the Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Affairs, the Honourable Kendall Nottage. This is the race site right in the middle of the harbour here in Nassau. The unusually blustery conditions are going to cause some problems for the competitors. But we asked the Minister for his thoughts on the event itself.
We're looking forward to the powerboat races. It's something new for us here in the Bahamas, and hopefully we could encourage it to continue on an annual basis. Now, sports is a priority for the Bahamian government. Development of sports, because we have a very large population of young people. 65% of our population is under the age of 30. So we have a very, very large population of young people. And so the promotion of sports is very, very important. And so powerboat racing is one of those areas that's adaptable for the Bahamas because we have such great water country. And so with all the crystal waters we have here and the beautiful sunshine, it's a natural for water sports. So we want to encourage this kind of thing, and very happy to be the host country.
With the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band performing, the competitors put their final touches to their boats before racing commences. Conditions very warm indeed, temperatures in the low 80s, but the wind is still keeping up, the wind speed in excess of some 25 knots, so it's going to be very difficult conditions for all of the competitors. Indeed, for the Saturday races, the course has been shortened to run up and down the beach here. In the region of 10 to 15,000 spectators appear on the Saturday, but many more will appear as the races start. Our first event will show highlights from the Formula 2 race. Formula 2 boats consist of engine sizes ranging from 50 to 100 cubic inches. These boats, very similar to the ON class, are capable of speeds of 85 to 100 miles per hour. The boats range from 13 to 15 feet in length, and there's very competitive racing. Coming down the back straight now, Tommy Droslin number 40, which is a Seabold, side by side with 28, Ron Ackerman. The conditions now are becoming more difficult with the wind speed increasing. You can see 204 flying across the water, Homer Green. But in third place, number 24 has gone. A big accident there for Lee Babbitt. He's thrown into the water. The catamaran has somersaulted right out the water. There it is on the right-hand side of your picture, and it's starting to sink. The rest of the boats going past. The yellow flags are now out. They'll surely have to stop this race. The rescue boats coming forward very quickly indeed. On the right-hand side, the catamaran sinking, and one of the divers has gone off the rescue boat, is already up to Lee, who seems to be okay. More help on the way from the rescue craft there. And there is the driver lying in the water on his back. More people coming to the aid of the driver. And there is a stretcher being put into the water. Lee Babbitt being put onto that stretcher, and he'll be put into the Red Cross boat, which is on the left of the picture here. It's being lifted into the boat itself, and he'll be away to the waiting ambulances. Yellow flags obviously still out. very much akin to motor racing, no overtaking allowed during the yellow flag situations, and there the stricken boat being taken in tow. The driver very quickly to shore. The ambulance is ready to take him off to hospital. And with the danger now out of the way, we have a race once again on our hands. It's still number 40, Tommy Droz, side by side with number 28, Ron Ackerman, as they come into the turn on this shortened course. Round they go. Number 40 then takes the lead. He comes down the back straight, and you can see just how much he is flying out of the water. Very difficult conditions for these inshore powerboat races. Number 40 then goes on to win the Formula 2 race here for the Bahamas Grand Prix. Tommy Droz from Lake Dallas, Texas, driving a Seabold Hull powered by a Mercury engine. The average winning speed just over 80 miles an hour. And as these boats finish their race, the crowds converge all around the course. And so an excellent victory in this opening event for the Grand Prix meeting here by Tommy Droz. And so now we move on to Heat 1 of the prestigious Transatlantic Champion of Champions race. Because of the high winds and the late start of this heat, all the heats are being reduced from 20 laps to 15 laps. Remember, it is a shortened course. Straight into the lead looks to be Nick Cripps with the Bacardi rum boat. Next to him is Mark Wilson, also making a very good start. On the outside is Lee Sutter. The first three boats side by side into the first turn. The first three very close indeed. Sutter getting the edge on that turn. Mark Wilson side by side. Cripps dropping back, but Ken Stevenson coming up with number 201. And what a sight they make as 25 catamarans head towards our camera position here at speeds in excess of 125 miles an hour. Lee Sutter goes into the lead. In second place now is Ken Stevenson, who's taken Mark Wilson round the outside. Through he goes now into second place, that's 201, and the rest of the field coming through in a blinding spray. Someone's retired, that's Michael Werner, the world champion, but into the lead now still Lee Sutter. Lee Sutter, number 82, with that Seabold Hull, and right behind him now, challenging him all the while, Ken Stevenson. A battle between these two. They head down the back straight, and someone has collected one of the markers, that's number 254. Chuck McKay there collecting the buoy, now letting it go again, but that's going to cause a few problems because the boats are not going to know where to turn on the far buoy. But now side by side, and into the lead goes 201 Ken Stevenson, and from that scene, the low-down scene, you can get a very good idea of the speed of these boats. Still side by side, Lee Sutter fighting back. Ken Stevenson, though, has got away into the lead, as Nicky Cripps, who was very high up in the opening stages of the race, dropping back all the while. He seems to have some form of problem, we know not what. And no, it's Lee Sutter who's back into the lead, but challenging him once again, coming down here, and they've taken away one of the buoys, so it's going to be a bit difficult to see for the drivers, and 201 Ken Stevenson powers his way back into the lead from Lee Sutter. Ben Robertson comes down into the far end towards one of the buoys, holding it very tight and hits the second buoy now, so it's going to be very difficult to carry on this race because there are no buoys left at the far turn, so goodness knows how the boats are going to turn round, and their 577 will certainly be disqualified from the event. And the red flag there being shown to Ken Stevenson to stop the race. The race will have to be rerun as it ran for less than half distance, and under the NPA rules, if you run for less than half the distance, i.e. 7.5 laps, the race will be declared null and void. There, Johnny Saunders has got a problem with his boat, a hole in the side of his sponson, but that will not stop him from taking part in the restart of Heat 1 for the Transatlantic Champion of Champions race. And away they go down the crowded shoreline. Getting away would seem to be Ken Stevenson's got a good start, but so once again has Lee Sutter, who goes straight into the lead with number 82. Ken Stevenson right behind him, Johnny Saunders also not far away. They head down the back straight, and once again with the backdrop of the cruise ships, what a splendid sight. And there is Nicky Cripps, and Nicky Cripps overtaking Ken Saunders for second place. Still Lee Sutter in the lead, but the Bacardi rum boat going very well indeed, side by side with Ken Stevenson there. Nick Cripps goes through, Ken Stevenson trying to maintain third place, still Lee Sutter in the lead. Sutter going round the shortened course, the boys back in line there, still in second place Nick Cripps, in third place Ken Stevenson, very tight between first, second and third. Battles all the way down through the field still in very close contention as you can see. And it is still Lee Sutter in the lead, and Ken Stevenson edges past into second place and almost cuts Nick Cripps up going around there. Close racing here indeed. Sutter still leading, Stevenson now in second place, Cripps in third place. The light now fading, the boats racing along the beach. Crowded spectators. We still have the race leader, Lee Sutter, but 2:01, Ken Stevenson. Coming up not far behind him now, in third place still Nick Cripps, fourth place Johnny Sanders, and Lee Sutter there in the lead, but the ever-present Ken Stevenson. Billy Seabold, a man who might be regarded as one of the favourites to win the Transatlantic Series, some way down, round about sixth place, but there's our race leader, number 82. Mark Wilson there in fifth place, in sixth place John Hill, there in eighth place is Art Kennedy. Fiona Brothers at the moment lying in 12th place, and a big battle there between Mark Wilson, there's John Hill, Art Kennedy closing in on him all the time. Not far behind Art Kennedy is Peter Inwood. So the Europeans doing well in this first race in the Transatlantic Challenge, but side by side there, and Ken Stevenson goes through to take the lead, and look at that speed that man has got. So we have a new race leader, Ken Stevenson in number 2:01, but Lee Sutter takes a wide line round there. Nick Cripps dropping back now to fifth place in 3:43. Sixth place John Hill side by side with Mark Wilson, who's now literally in seventh place, goes up into sixth place. Peter Inwood is in eighth place, number 13, coming up through the field, getting used to these very rough waters. And there the 1982 world champion Michael Werner in 4:17. He retires from this heat. Here's Billy Seabold knowing it's all important to get into the top six positions to get the maximum points from this first heat. He's going to have his work cut out. He made a slow start. Obviously has some form of engine problems. Seabold arguably the most successful inshore powerboat racer of the decade. Seabold has now gone up into fifth place. Sixth place is Nicky Cripps. In seventh place now Malcolm Wilson. There, number 13, also going very well indeed, and that of course is Peter Inwood. 4:17 being towed out of harm's way from these boats that are almost going all the way around him, as through comes the race leader 2:01, Ken Stevenson, going through, lapping Peter Inwood. Billy Seabold now goes up into fifth place. Valuable points for him, as the race leader still number 2:01. Lee Sutter still in second place, number 82, taking quite a wide line around there. Once again, Billy Seabold trying to edge closer to Art Kennedy. At the moment, he's about 6 seconds behind Art Kennedy, whilst Ken Stevenson, our race leader, is here winning the event by some 14 seconds from Lee Sutter, who is second, Johnny Sanders, who is third, Art Kennedy will be fourth, Billy Seabold fifth, Mark Wilson sixth, John Hill seventh, and Peter Inwood eighth. 3:43, that's Nicky Cripps, finishes in ninth place. So victory then in the fading light to number 2:01, who takes 400 points. And that will be the only heat run on the 4th of December here on the Saturday, because the light fading, as you can see, and we go into Sunday, the 5th of December, where we see Heat 2 of the Transatlantic Champion of Champions race, and this time it's to be held over the full course because the weather has calmed a little bit, still quite rough conditions, and what a start Peter Inwood has made, coming through on the far side, looks to be in the lead, but once again John Hill also making a good start, but Lee Sutter in number 82 has gone into the lead of this second heat, which is still over 15 laps, but over the full 1¼ mile circuit. On the shortened course yesterday, the average speed was 106 miles an hour for Ken Stevenson. Can they go quicker here in Heat 2? They come down towards our camera, flying high there, Lee Sutter. Still very difficult conditions, a lot more wind than the drivers would like, but Lee Sutter there lifting right out of the water. In second place, Art Kennedy has gone through. Ken Stevenson looks to be quite a way down the field. They come towards our third camera position, camera 3. It's still Lee Sutter leading, but Billy Siebold is coming up into second place, taking second place off Johnny Hill. John Hill there, now moving back to fourth place. Art Kennedy in third place, and Billy Siebold takes a very tight turn around the buoy and looks to go into the lead. And look at Siebold fly. Quite incredible scenes here as they come down, and you can see right through the sponsons of Billy Siebold's number 190, who's taken the lead, where it's Kent Stevenson, the man who won Heat 1. Siebold there going into quite a commanding lead, it would seem. There is Lee Sutter, and there on the outside of John Hill looks to be number 203. That's Johnny Sanders, who finished third in the first heat. Leading then Billy Siebold in second place to Lee Sutter. Third place looks to be Art Kennedy. Sutter there going through in second place. Art Kennedy in third place. Fourth place John Hill. Fifth place is Johnny Sanders, and they're down in ninth place at the moment is Ken Stevenson. Number 7, that's Fiona Brothers, who finished 12th in the first heat, going quite well in the second heat, round about 15th position. And Billy Siebold bouncing high out of the water, maintaining his lead. There is Art Kennedy, and you can see the drivers really being thrown about in these boats. The boat's still doing in the region of 90 to 100 miles an hour. 547, that's Ted Jones. Ted Jones up into 8th place at the moment. Once again, Fiona Brothers going through, up now 1 place into 14th place as Johnny Sanders goes past the leading European John Hill. But now into second place is Art Kennedy. Lee Sutter has moved back into third place. Fourth place will be Johnny Sanders. In fifth place is John Hill. Sixth place will be Ken Stevenson, who's challenging John Hill around the outside of this marker in these very rough conditions. The water really being churned up by these boats, by the props of the boats. Lee Sutter there in third place. Through comes Lee Sutter, still in that third place, behind Billy Siebold and Art Kennedy. Johnny Sanders challenging him for that placing there in number 203. Stevenson behind his teammate. Important that Stevenson gets up towards the front because Billy Siebold is leading this event at the moment. There through goes Lee Sutter. And look at these sort of conditions. Through goes Phil Duggan, another of the British drivers here. Duggan going well with his Pentax-sponsored boat. And they're going around the outside, lapping one of these slower boats, our race leader, 190. Difficult to see these boats in the haze of spray that's coming off the water. Not only whipped up by the props from the boats, but also by the very high winds, still around 20 knots today. 201, now making a mark on the race. Ken Stevenson coming up. He's taken John Hill, as we've said. There is John Hill. And also coming through 547, Ted Jones. Ted Jones at the moment in 9th place with the Bacardi boat. And there is Billy Siebold about to lap Fiona Brothers. Siebold taking a wide line, trying to make it as smooth as possible for himself. Siebold well in the lead at the moment. Something like 6 seconds in the lead. We turn our attention to the battle for the leading European positions. 6th and 7th place, John Hill just leading Peter Inwood. Hill with the McEwen Lagers advertising on the side of his boat. Peter Inwood with the sponsorship there from Tissot. Billy Siebold trying to make a smooth passage, still in the lead. But the battle looks to be really on for second place. There is Art Kennedy still in second place, number 2. In third place now, number 201. He's taken third place from Lee Sutter, and Phil Duggan's lost half of his bodywork at the moment. But having a big battle there with Ted Jones, still the race leader, but Ken Stevenson, the man who won Heat 1, up now into third place, challenging Art Kennedy the whole time. There's Kennedy, there's Lee Sutter now in fourth place. There, second, third and fourth, very close indeed, and trying to take second place from Art Kennedy. Through goes number 201, second, third and fourth, very close together. And third place now taken by Lee Sutter. Art Kennedy dropping down into fourth place. Johnny Sanders coming up, and there is part of Phil Duggan's bodywork. That could cause quite a few problems for the drivers. Duggan there being thrown about, but still going side by side with Ted Jones. They're battling for 8th and 9th place, but they're battling as if their lives depended on it. Round one of the markers. And we wait there. There in second place now is Ken Stevens.